Thank you, Amy, and good morning to everybody. It's great to be here with you. And good morning. I probably should have given time for that response, but thank you. It's my pleasure, really, to welcome you here to Scottsdale for the 2015 Going Places Conference. And our city is really, truly proud to have this event here in Scottsdale, as well as to have all of you here. And I'd also like to say that it is really a great honor, really, that the Ina Levine Jewish Community Center is such a great institution and organization here for the city of Scottsdale, and frankly for all of our community. And it's one organization that certainly shares and demonstrates the values that we all hold very dear to ourselves and to our seniors and to our citizens. But at each stage in life, we all have something to contribute, and we have really not only an obligation to stay engaged and contribute, but also we have a responsibility as a community to recognize the strengths and the contributions of each generation. And when we think about our older generation, it has so much to offer us, and we need to maintain the kind of respect and honor for our older people in our community, because their history, their production, their development of a community, sustainable, viable, giving life, teaching, they continue in a lot of those areas of things, and we certainly want to promote and make sure there's an environment for them to be able to do just that.
Don't call me senior, and don't call me older or elderly. So henceforth from that meeting, I refer to us, because I'm one of you now, as seasoned citizens. And as you can see by the gray in my hair here at the temples and these cheaters that I have to wear sometimes, I am one of you. You know, Youngtown is not only the original retirement community, we're also the host city for the charter chapter of AARP, chapter number 1. And that chapter is still very active. We have almost 100 members, and we meet monthly, and we have anywhere from 60 to 70 attendees at each monthly meeting. And it's a great opportunity to get together and socialize with people that, you know, I used to say, gosh, will I ever be that old? But here I am. Many of them are great friends now, and I get a chance to spend a lot of time with them. Youngtown is kind of between the two Sun Cities, Sun City on the east and Sun City Grand on the west. And so I'm well familiar with the positions that many seasoned citizens take on the issues. There are some things that you have to learn in life that you can't learn by reading a book. Some things you have to learn through experience. And I think it's, anytime I see a mentor being a seasoned citizen that has a mentee being a younger person, I think that's a winning combination, because there's a lot of wisdom that we, all of us in this room, have to pass on to future generations.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for this award. This is really special, and I want to thank my counterparts here from Youngtown and Scottsdale. And a mayor can't help but try to take the stage every once in a while, so thank you for giving me a few minutes. When I became mayor 3.5 years ago, there was a considerable literal and figurative divide between the youth and the aging community in the city of Surprise. And to me, that seemed like a very, very important thing to do, is to heal that wound and to make certain that we were doing everything together to try to create one Surprise. And so that is our initiative, is to create one Surprise. This award is a recognition of our efforts that we have made, and we very much appreciate the support of this group to help us move towards that goal. I have to tell you a really quick story. We are working in every way possible to make connections between our youth and our seasoned citizens, as Mike says. And just recently, we did so in the most unique way. The game of pickleball. The game of pickleball. How many of you are familiar with the game of pickleball? I thought so. Well, we introduced the game of pickleball to the marching band of Valley Vista High School. They were suffering, frankly, as a school district that was suffering at the loss of an override. And we needed to make sure that the two communities really understood what's at stake for one another. And so we brought those kids over to play pickleball, and the senior citizens were teaching pickleball to those youth through a tournament, and it was a wonderful experience. And afterwards, I was sitting at lunch with those kids, and they said, you know what? This pickleball was really fun. But the better part was actually meeting our senior citizens and hearing their stories. That was the best of all. That one little pickleball tournament turned into a connection between our school district and every one of the activity clubs of the seasoned community that I live in, Sun City Grand. All of those clubs have now reached out to different clubs and departments of our school and are reaching out to try to find those connections so that we can just continue to spark new relationships. So that's what we want to continue to do, and this award is going to help us make that connection. So thank you very, very much for this opportunity.
As our panelists join us on the stage this morning, I'd like to invite you to consider how your own communities engage all generations. How do your people interact? How does each person add value? How would your communities be different without any one generation? These are questions that will frame our dialogue this morning. Each of our esteemed speakers has a different but valuable perspective. Age-friendly communities are not defined by any single geography, agency, or field of work. Age-friendly communities are lived in each day by the residents who call that place their own and their home. This is true in rural communities like Bisbee, as well as metropolitan areas like Scottsdale.
What keeps me up at night is the growing role of the decreasing significance of the role of elders in the community. In Washington, D.C., as the city evolves, changes, and gentrification comes in, as the city develops, there's a lessening ambivalence towards the significance of elders in the community. So a lot of times, the history or the importance of many members of the community that have been there for years becomes erased in this sense.
My organization is called eProv Studio, and eProv Studio is all about entrepreneurship. And I was just saying this morning that we are thinking of changing that name because every time we mention eProv Studio, people think that they have to get up on the stage and do something. Our eProv Studio workshops are really intergenerational workshops. So the whole concept, the experience incubators are the senior brings their life work experience into these workshops, and young people bring their technology experience into the workshop. And it's really an incredible catalytic effect.
When I started in this position 13 years ago, I really approached it differently. A typical transportation planning organization, I'm not an engineer, I really approach it from the social science perspective. And transportation is really fundamental to the quality of life. I'm talking about making connections, that's what transportation is all about. But unlike food, water, and shelter, it's not a necessity, but it obviously is very, very important. A good transportation system opens up opportunity, and I think that's what it's all about.
I'm Nora Hanna, I'm the CEO of Experience Matters. So we take people like Eric when he decides he doesn't want to do the same job he's done, but do something else in maybe the public or social sector, who have this great wisdom and experience, and to put it to work to solve so many of our community's problems, whether it deals with transportation, or it deals with education, or healthcare, or homelessness, or the arts. So what we do is leverage this incredible talent pool here in Scottsdale and throughout Maricopa County, we have about 1 million baby boomers who are transitioning often.
That is, at times, overlooked.
And it's fascinating, stories that come out of those workshops for people they go back from age 0 to 10 and really look at their lives and see what